Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Watkins Glen for both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. In Xfinity we had Formula 1 driver Lando Norris in our car. I'm a big fan of Lando in F1, so I decided obviously we gotta get him in a car at one point. So we got him in today here for Watkins Glen. We usually put in a Formula 1 driver here in the road course swing for Xfinity. Norris, he qualified on the pole for us, and he would be able to jump out in front of Daniel Hemrick there in the 21 car, and he would be able to drive away with this lead position early on here at Watkins Glen. So Norris putting on a great performance here as he came through past the midway point of this race, continuing to lead over second place of Daniel Hemrick at this point. No one really seemed to have anything for Norris throughout this race, as he would be able to just continue to drive away. And as we came towards the final lap of this race now, Norris heading down towards the penultimate corner at this point, well over 2 to 3 seconds ahead of Daniel Hemrick as he comes through the penultimate corner down into the final corner here in Watkins Glen. Lando Norris's first attempt at a NASCAR race is going to be deemed a success, as he would come through to win here in Watkins Glen for our team and add on to the win list of the season. I think that's 3 or 4 wins for our Xfinity team now here this season. So we're having a good season. Obviously, we've got to still choose a playoff driver. Not quite sure exactly who I'm going to choose yet, but we'll see now. So now it's time to set our sights. So on the Cup Series race, we've got 2 wins at Watkins Glen in our Cup Series career. So now we've come through into qualifying down through the penultimate corner. It wasn't the best lap, but it was certainly a pretty solid lap. One of the better laps I think I've put together in qualifying at Watkins Glen throughout my career as we come on the exit of the final corner, heading down the front straightaway. We're going to come through to cross the line to go P6 with a 108.245. So very strong qualifying results. Hopefully we can move forwards here at Watkins Glen.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series visits New York and Watkins Glen International for the running of the Go Bowling at the Glen. The Glen is NASCAR's second road course stop of the season. In 2015, this 2.5-mile, 7-turn track underwent a full repave that made the racing surface much smoother and added a ton of grip. However, drivers still need to be careful out there, especially when entering the famed bus stop chicane, an area of the track notorious for taking out even the best drivers. Okay, the pins are set. It's time to go bowling at the Glen.
All right, we're ready to go green here for the GoBowling.com at Watkins Glen. Jamie McMurray is well prepared for this race. He is up here on the front row, I think it is. No, he's on the second row, as Kevin Harvick is your pole winner going into today at Watkins Glen, as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had an unapproved body modification during qualifying, so he is starting at the back of the field as we get ready to go green side by side with our teammate of Chase Elliott from P6 here in Watkins Glen. As Harvick and Boyer on the front row now as the green flag is out. Second row is our rival of Martin Truex Jr. and Jamie McMurray now as we go down towards turns 1 for the first time here at Watkins Glen. Boyer has the edge over his teammate of Harvick, and he is going to come out of turn 1 with the lead as we're side by side with our rival of Martin Truex Jr. now as we go down through the S's up the hill. A little bit of contact already with Truex as he tries to get into the side of me. Truex indicating early on that he is not here to mess around with us now as we come through this right bend. He is all over our back bumper as he's pushing me now down the straightaway here on this opening lap. Just behind Jamie McMurray, we're going to break a little bit deep, and now Truex gives us the bumper, and he slams me into McMurray. McMurray goes spinning, and so does Truex, as we hang on to it now, and we come through the inner loop in front of Truex, and get P3 as that ends up ending the stage with a caution, as the first 2 stages are really short here, and then the final stage is pretty long, so it ends the first stage within half a lap, as Truex gave me the bumper, trying to wreck me, and somehow we hang on to it, and now we will start P3 for the second stage here in Watkins Glen. This will add some extra laps to the second stage, so this will be a fairly lengthy stage as well. Now as the green flag is back out, Martin Truex Jr. on my right hand side, he's already coming up the track trying to hit me. He does briefly touch me in the right rear now as we go down towards turns 1. Truex did give us some damage to the bumper, so I already felt a little bit of oversteer in the car at this point now, so I wasn't very happy about that as he hits me again. We're going to try and make it 3 wide here for the lead, but we go a little bit wide now into the wall there, being very aggressive, and unfortunately it doesn't end in my favor. We've made that move work for the lead before, but now we fade in behind the 19 of Truex as we're going to follow him through on the right-hand side of Clint Boyer as we go down the back straightaway. Now going to take over P3 from Boyer as we go down towards the bus stop. And we're going to give the bumper to Truex, but somehow his his car doesn't even budge, so he keeps it perfectly straight now as we go down through the carousel. I'm not going to lie, I was going in there trying to punt him right into the grass, but unfortunately it didn't work as he didn't even move it. It was like he was just a roadblock. We didn't even affect his car, so he keeps it straight now as we head down the straightaway down towards the penultimate corner, trying to keep things clean. Now we got to worry about just finishing this stage without any issues at this point. Obviously still quite a bit of a ways to go in this second stage here in Watkins Glen as we come through the final corner, sitting in that third position just in front of Clint Boyer, and we would continue to run P3 as we came to a few laps later, now on lap 4 of 6 in the second stage, still within range of Harvick and Truex. As we're actually building up a good bit of momentum here on Truex now with 3 laps to go in the second stage. A lot of momentum as we're going to look to his right-hand side through the bend. He's not going to give me a lot of room, but it's just enough to get ahead of him now as we're clear for second place. We know what he's going to try to do at the bus stop now. We brake a little bit late and he gets to my bumper. And we make just a little bit of contact. He looks to my left-hand side and he's going to push me off into the grass. Now as we rejoin the track in the carousel, we make big contact. And sideways we go off track and we both somehow hang on to it now as we both rejoin the track and keep it straight somehow, as it was a bit of a tandem drift there through the center of the carousel with Martin Truex Jr. Truex not playing nice today, and we're giving it right back to him somehow. We're both still second and third after all that. That allows Kevin Harvick at this point to get away, as we're right on the back of Truex, but not quite close enough to do anything to him. And as we came towards the white flag now, Truex had actually stretched out the gap a little bit, as we had just kind of done the car in at this point. I was really just trying to make it to the end of stage 2 to repair some of the damage that we had picked up, as well as get 4 fresh tires. Actually, we might not be taking tires at the end of stage 2, because usually we don't do it here, so we likely won't get any tires at all, which could be a bit of an issue towards the end of the race. But track position is key at this track, at least in this game now, as we head down towards the bus stop for the final time in this second stage. What a wild second stage it has been. What a wild race it has been so far now, as Kevin Harvick leads the way down through the carousel for the final time here in stage 2. It's Harvick, it's Truex, and myself that have kind of just run away from the field now as we exit the carousel. Kurt Busch has moved into the 4th position behind me, but he is quite a ways behind, as you see him in the frame, about 2 to 3 seconds or so behind, I think, as we go down into the penultimate corner here for the final time in stage 2. Kevin Harvick leading the way. Truex is closed in, and so have we, but we're not going to get close enough now as we come through on the exit of the final corner here in this second stage. Kevin Harvick is going to come through to get another playoff point as he wins stage 2, and we get the 3rd position. So setting us up well for this 3rd and final stage here at Watkins Glen, as Denny Hamlin looks like he's going to come through to get the 10th position here in stage 2. So obviously, like I said, we're not actually going to take any tires on this pit stop because of track position. Usually the AI don't take any tires at the end of stage 2, so we don't. We do put 2 cans of fuel in it, and we are going to repair the damage that we picked up, and hopefully we can keep the car damage free in this final stage. We lose 2 positions though, down to P5, as we get ready to go green and start this 3rd and final stage here at Watkins Glen. Harvick and Truex on the front row now as the green flag is out. The final stage is underway here at Watkins Glen. It's a great launch for myself, and we're going to cross over in front of Elliott, make it 3 wide with Boyer and Kurt Busch down into turns 1. Chase Elliott's going to give us the bumper into turns 1 and pushes me wide into the side of Boyer. He has to back out of it now, as Elliott has already given me damage that we just repaired to the bumper, and now the damage is back as Truex takes the lead over Harvick. We look to the left-hand side of Harvick, a great launch, and we take over P2 somehow after getting punted by our own teammate into turns 1. I mean, we kind of deserve it. We've kind of taken out Elliott a few times here and there, so I'm not surprised that he is going to give it back to us once in a while now as we go down in this bus stop for the first time in this 3rd and final stage. And who is in front of us? It's our rival of Martin Truex Jr. But I was a little bit concerned that with the worn tires and the damage that Elliott just gave us to our back bumper, that I really wasn't sure if I was going to have the pace to match the leader of Truex. Obviously, I want to run down Truex and beat him for the victory, but as you can see, we now come to lap 15, and he is pulling away as we have a lot of oversteer on the entrance of the bus stop and completely screw it up because of that reason. And that was starting to become a little bit of a concerning trend, that when I was going through the bus stop on the entrance, the back end was trying to kick out, and as we come to lap 16, Truex continuing to pull away now as I'm giving it everything I've got. We actually get into the guardrail there as we come up through the hill, as I was just pushing so hard trying to stick with Truex and match his pace, and he was driving away, and now that's a bunch of damage to the right hand side of the car. Harvick was about just under 2 seconds behind me. He started closing in, but everything's starting to just fade away at this point with the worn tires. The damage on the car is about 2 seconds to Harvick now, as it was now 3 seconds to Martin Truex Jr. here on lap 18. So at this point, I was kind of all by myself, and at this point as well, I was just hoping that we were going to get a caution. We don't have the pace to run down Martin Truex Jr. at the end of this race here in Watkins Glen, which is unfortunate as we make a mistake in that final corner getting into the grass, but we do hang on to it now as we're actually going to do a little bit of a crank it up here in this final stage now, so we'll come back here in just a moment now as we go to crank it up. There you had Crank It Up now as you come to just 3 laps to go, approaching 2 to go. Truex now 5 seconds ahead of him as I'm dealing with a lot of oversteer with this car at this point. Harvick now closing the gap to myself as well as we go down into this final corner. I was starting to try and play it safe a little bit at this point because I knew how much oversteer I had and I didn't want to risk crashing the car now as you would come through to cross the line to hit 2 laps to go, coming through now the back straightaway down towards the bus stop. Martin Truex Jr. a lap and a half away from his first win of the season as he runs away. Now there's smoke up ahead, and it's Martin Truex Jr. as we go wide with oversteer on the exit of the bus stop, and there's Truex as we miss him, but we rejoin the track, and Harvick comes through to take the lead now as we make major contact with our teammate of Chase Elliott as we come through the carousel. Truex dominating, running away with the win, crashes in the bus stop. I went into the bus stop and had a major oversteer and lost the back end, and we go off track, a chance to take the lead, and we completely lose it after the car just slipped out from under me. Now we come to this final lap. Elliott got past me in turn 1 as I had nothing left, and this car's getting to the back there of Elliott now, going a little bit wide, almost into the grass, but like I said, I had nothing at this point here on this final lap, but unbelievable scenes, a massive just turn of events here in Watkins Glen. All race long, myself and Truex have ran into each other, having just clashing multiple times, and now we run 1-2 with the final laps, and we both end up now down, myself in third, Truex in the back of the field, as Truex just crashed in the bus stop. Like I said, we had a huge opportunity to take the lead and run away with the win, and as soon as I entered the bus stop, the back end just slipped out, and away we went right off the track, almost into Truex. So very unfortunate for ourselves, as we had a chance to take the lead, and we almost had the lead taken. We might have taken the lead for like a second or so, but now Kevin Harvick is going to come through this final corner with Elliott in second, myself in third, getting into the wall as I was just pushing so hard in this final lap. I was so disappointed in myself as Kevin Harvick wins at Watkins Glen. We would come through to finish in the 3rd position, which was, I couldn't even believe what happened in these final few laps. I was so disappointed that Truex crashed and we had a chance to take the win, and everything just the wrong time we went off track. Like I said at the beginning of the 3rd stage that the back end was starting to kick out, and you certainly saw it there, as we're going to actually show a little bit of a replay here. An insane turn of events completely shakes up the finish as like I said, show the replay. I slowed it down to 75% just so you can see just the back end right there just kicks out, and we go straight towards the wall as Truex kind of crashing up ahead of me, kind of caught me off guard as well. I was kind of paying attention to that. We come back on the track. I wasn't thinking about Chase Elliott coming through, so I slammed into him, unfortunately. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode,
you're really improving out there. Just keep pushing.
Thank you, Austin Dillon. But like I said, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. We do provoke Chase Elliott. He punted me earlier in the final stage. I wasn't a fan of that. We do have momentum now going into the next few races, so we'll see how we can utilize that, hopefully in our favor. Maybe the truck team can get up there at Eldora and have a shot at winning. That would certainly be nice, but surprisingly, me and Truex running 1-2 with a lap and a half to go, and none of us come out there with a top 2 finish. So it was certainly a wild one. The race in itself, the first lap of the race was insane. I mean, stage 2 was pretty exciting, and just the finish of the race was wild. So one of the better races, in my opinion, of our career mode there. As you see the playoff grid, Suarez now 9 points out, so we'll see if he can fight his way back in. So that'll do it for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Now we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.